risk management consultant. Call 1-888-405-8780 and get started on protection right away. You can visit his website at coveryourassets.tv for more information. Call 1-888-405-8780 and let Harvey help you cover your assets. Life is so overwhelming right now, isn't it? Emotional and financial challenges, too much. More debt than you could possibly handle. Are you facing divorce or another family law problem? Injured and don't know where to turn? There is a source of solid, affordable legal guidance. At Elkins & Friedman, an experienced lawyer will explain options and treat you with respect and dignity. They help people throughout Central and South Florida to solve these problems. This is a law firm you can trust, where they actually pick up the phone when you call. They have a 30-year record of positive results, and they make legal costs manageable for people from all walks of life. Make the call. Toll free, 800-922-1277. Fort Lauderdale, 954-772-6014. Palm Beach, 561-738-5988. Elkins & Friedman take the intimidation and the worry out of getting the legal help you really need. Call toll-free 800-922-1277. Fort Lauderdale, 954-772-6014. Palm Beach, 561-738-5988. And begin to make sense of your life. Offices in Fort Lauderdale, Boca Raton, Boynton Beach, and Palm Beach Gardens. Non-lawyer spokesperson. The beautiful and complex art world can raise many questions about copyright, trademarks, negotiations, and settlements, especially if you are an artist and entrepreneur. The key to success when doing business through art is to find a reliable, trustworthy lawyer to give you the most professional representation for your and your clients' peace of mind. Call entertainment lawyer Kevin Wood at 954-809-4351 to set up a free consultation and jumpstart your career with the right tools.
Want to do something fun the first Monday evening each month and have a psychic reading too? Then join me, Top 100 Empowerment Psychic Halley Elise, for the Psychic Gallery. You'll de-stress, refresh, laugh, play with energy, and have your questions answered. Don't miss out. The Psychic Gallery with Halley Elise. Go to halleyelise.com for more information. That's HALLEYELISE.com.
There are many situations that today's homeowners face, which require them to sell their home fast. Florida Cash Home Buyers specializes in purchasing properties from homeowners in as little as 5 days and without the need of dealing with any repairs, realtors, stress, or hassle. They have purchased many properties from people just like you and can solve many problems, such as foreclosure, tax liens, damaged homes, probates, abandoned houses, and many more. Don't let your real estate worries bother you anymore. If you want to sell your house today, call Florida Cash Home Buyers right away and speak to someone about how they can best help you. They offer free, no-risk consultations. Florida Cash Home Buyers. Sell your house the easy way for fast cash. Call Florida Cash Home Buyers today. 954-906-3000. That's 954-906-3000. You can also check them out online at www.floridacashhomebuyers.com. That's www.floridacashhomebuyers.com. Lewert Law Offices is proud to be the family law expert on the Ask the Expert show. Attorney Tina Lewert is a board-certified specialist in marital and family law. Attorney Lewert is committed to obtaining the best resolution for your divorce or other family law case by consistently providing skilled representation, expert legal advice, and personal attention. Attorney Lewert has developed an excellent reputation for providing effective divorce and family law representation in Boca Raton and the surrounding communities. Lewert Law Offices offers legal advice and representation in a wide range of family law matters, including divorce, child custody, time-sharing and visitation, child support, alimony, complex asset distribution, post-judgment modifications, and paternity actions. For expert representation in all aspects of divorce and family law, contact Attorney Tina Lewert today at 561-544-6861 or visit www.lewertlaw.com.
Bob, did you see Halley Elise in the paper?
Who?
The empowerment psychic, Halley Elise. They did a 2-page write-up. The columnist was enthralled. Halley went right to an issue that she was dealing with. and looking at HalleyElise.com right now.
What are you thinking? Should we schedule an appointment?
Matter of fact, yes. You have issues with Sue and me, my business. Take a look at her background. It's impressive, and she has decades of experience.
I want to put it on my iPad. What's her info?
Empowerment Psychic Halley Elise. HalleyElise.com. 561-755-2166.
Spell it.
HalleyElise.com.
So it's HalleyElise.com and 561-755-2166, right?
561-755-2166. That's it.
The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors. Welcome to the Halley Elise Show, featuring your host, empowerment psychic Halley Elise. She is an author, psychic, and media personality, and has been listed as one of the top 100 psychics in America. Empowerment psychic Halley Elise shares the spiritual, metaphysical, holistic, and magical powers of the universe. Follow Halley on her website at HalleyElise.com, and all her shows can be seen via live stream video. Now, here's your host, empowerment psychic Halley Elise.
Good evening, everyone. Hopefully you can hear me. It's been one of those days. It's funny, the Halley Elise Show is known for bringing you content, having to deal with spirituality, things that are psychic, things that are holistic. And I posted earlier today on Facebook about how I really do walk my talk. All sorts of things happen in my world, and I kind of move through, and that doesn't mean I don't get upset or that don't have a bad moment, but there are moments that the norm just doesn't work. And if you get a chance, take a look at my Halley Elise profile page on Facebook. You'll get a chuckle, because I made reference to today being one of those crazy days, and this morning it was about chocolate, and then more chocolate, and then more chocolate. The point being, you can breathe, you can get centered, you can listen to music, you can dance, you can meditate. So often there are many things that you can work with to create that peace within your world. But there are those moments that either you don't feel like it, or perhaps you find that it's difficult to get to those places when chocolate will work. And the reason that I say this is because obviously it's about endorphins. Endorphins make us happy. This is why people, when they exercise, seem to be more content. And this is why people, when they're in the sunshine outside and they are having a good time, they're raising those endorphins. There's many different ways to do that. So anyways, this morning was one of those things, and I'll share a little bit simply because it'll make more sense. I hesitate because I do my best to stay very constructive, very positive when I share with all of you, but life happens. Okay, so there are those times when 10 different things happen at the same time. Now, you can probably hear my voice. Somebody today told me I sounded like Minnie Mouse. Better than Mickey Mouse, I guess. But yesterday I was doing a fundraiser, and it was an all-day type of thing, back-to-back readings, mixing, mingling with lots of different people for a good cause. And I had to have someone come in, believe it or not, to cat sit. Yes, you heard that correctly. Cat, C-A-T, cat sit. And the reason being, I have a kitty who was diagnosed with a terminal illness some time back. And at the time, doctor said, 3 months, 6 months. It's been over a year, closer to a year and a half. But he has these moments, we'll call them episodes, where he's really not well. And during those times that he's not well, obviously he's not the only one stressed. I'm stressed because I'm looking after him, trying to make him comfortable, trying to create peace. And so this morning was one of those mornings. The voice actually was less than it is now, and I had a full day. And, of course, my little buddy wasn't well. And we started at, I think it was about 6:20 this morning. Maybe it was a little earlier with him not being well. And I'm thinking, really? Finally get him settled. And I thought, well, I need to eat something because I need to have something in my system for fuel. You know, people talk about, oh, I just have dinner or I just have one meal a day. I can't really do that. I need to have something to get me going early. And I thought about all the good things that I normally do, fruits and vegetables. And again, those are things that are good for you, that help ground, that pick up your energy. Wasn't going to do it. I have a dear friend who is a phenomenal cook and baker. And at the event yesterday, she had provided a lot of the desserts. And I was sent home with a lot of desserts. And since she knows I like chocolate, the bulk of them were chocolate. So there you go. That's where breakfast came from. But I thought it'd be interesting today if you folks called in and shared what is it that you do during those moments that you really don't want to do all the things that you know to manage stress, or not even to manage stress, but just shift the moment. And sometimes it's as simple as just taking 3 deep breaths. Other times you need something that's a little bit stronger. So let me give you the phone number. It's 888-565-1470. That's 888-565-1470. Hopefully you heard that. And feel free to call in because this way I won't be talking as much. We get to talk with you. You know, a lot of times we have you call in on Psychic Monday, which as a reminder is the third Monday of the month. And we will have call-ins again next month on the third Monday. Actually, let me give you kind of a update on all the different things going on. We have next week the Psychic Gallery, and that is in Boca Raton. All the information is on my website, which is HalleyElise.com. And for those of you who are like, well, I'm not familiar with that, what is that? It's an opportunity to come out at a very reasonable price for an hour and a half to 2 hours of laughter and energy work and psychicism. And you get an opportunity to actually experience energy and experience a reading for yourself. And it's very modestly priced. It's only $25 at the door. And I know I've been getting a lot of phone calls and emails from folks saying, where are you? We're at the Renaissance Festival. We didn't see your tent. Normally I have my lavender-colored tent for Mysteries by Halley, Elise, and I have all the girls working with me. This year, it just didn't fall together. There is a I was going to say young lady, which is actually a woman, who is doing some tarot reading at the festival. But Lady Dale and I, next Monday, on the same day as the Psychic Gallery, during the afternoon, I should say daytime, let's say from 10 in the morning till 4 in the evening, 4 in the afternoon. I know my times sound wonky, don't they? Let me restate that so this will make sense. Next Monday, which is the first Monday in March, from 10 a.m. till 4 p.m. at the office, Lady Dale and I will make ourselves available to you to do readings at the same price that we would normally do at the festival. And if you're thinking, well, what's the difference? It's significant. So if you want more information, either contact Lady Dale directly. You can do that on Facebook, or you can reach me, and I'll give you the phone number and again the website, so you can send an email if you like. But the phone number is 561-755-2166. And hopefully my voice will be a little stronger by next week, because we'll be doing readings in the office, as I said, from 10 to 4. At the same price that you would have at the festival. Keep in mind, it is also for the same time, meaning normally in the office, it's an hour session. During the festival, we do 20 minutes. So there is a difference, but by the same token, gives you an opportunity to get your checkup for the year in case you missed us over at the Florida Renaissance Festival. And Lady Dale's number is, let me think for a moment, 561-212-8479. So you can contact her directly or you can contact me. We have to work by appointment only because of the fact that we have a limited time frame that we're doing this, since I have the Psychic Gallery in the evening. There you go. Try to get a lot of information out in a little bit of time. Also, I had mentioned a couple of times about a program that Dr. Maya from the office and I were going to be putting together, like a little sexy expo. due to just crazy schedules with a lot of the people that we were contacting to join us, we've kind of put that on the back burner for a little bit, hoping perhaps at the end of spring or beginning of summer to be able to revisit that and get everybody together, but we will definitely keep you abreast. And let me mention as well, Dr. Maya is putting together these wonderful spiritual trips. They're more about health and wellness. So if you want more info about that, contact me, or you can contact Maya on the Facebook page. And let me think the correct way to say her last name. The reason I say Dr. Maya is because she's got an unusual last name. It's Sarkeesian, if I'm saying it correctly. Might be easier just to contact me, and I'll forward your information to Maya. Okay, let's see. Did I cover everything? I think so. So you have third Monday on the show, Psychic Monday, where you can call in. You have the first Monday of the month, the Psychic Gallery, and a special Monday next week. Florida Renaissance folks who usually visit us, as well as vendors and campers that are there. It's your opportunity to see Lady Dale and I at the office. So there you go. I think that's all covered. Now, let's get back on track here. Started off with talking about handling, we'll say, adverse situations or stressful situations in ways that help shift your consciousness, help get you more centered. And I mentioned about coffee, not coffee, cocoa, chocolate. Oh my gosh, my head just went to all these places simply because a lot of people will say, oh, I need a cup of coffee. And that helps create some peace for them in the moment, or a cup of cocoa. For me, it's the actual chocolate. I think our whole family's chocoholics on both sides. But here's the thing. It doesn't matter what you do as long as it's not harmful. And what I simply mean by that is, if you're someone who on occasion has a cocktail, that's great. If you're thinking at 8 o'clock in the morning, you want to have a bottle of alcohol, not so good. If you're thinking it's a good time to have drugs, not so good. Anyways, I want to remind you, feel free to call in this evening at 888-565-1470 and share with us, what is it that you do that creates that stress management? What is that quick fix for you when things are kind of cockamamie and you need just a moment of quiet, a moment of peace, or possibly just a moment to make you smile? For those who have pets, a lot of times it is simply walking over and picking up the pet and putting them on your lap and just sitting there with them for a moment, not doing anything other than being connected with them. For others, it's going down to the beach and putting their feet in the water. Think in terms of not expensive. Think in terms of a quick fix. Think in terms of what's going to bring you a smile. One of the easiest things that each one of us can do, and if you look at my website, you'll see I call it a quickie, but I'm not going to tell you what that actually is unless you go to the website, look at the homepage, by the way, which is HalleyElise.com, just in case you forgot. There's a quickie on there, and the quickie has to do with bringing up a sensory memory, something that you really can connect with, that in that moment helps you shift your consciousness, helps you shift your awareness, helps you get into that happy place. Years ago, I used to use the term a lot, warm and fuzzy. Like, what is it that gets you to that warm and fuzzy place? Or what is that thing? Use your imagination. If you're thinking, well, I really don't have anything, I don't know what makes me happy, sit down and write out things that from the past made you happy. They don't even have to be things that are present in your life, but just things that generally, when you saw in the past, brought happiness. Not because it was long-lasting, not because it was permanent, just for the moment. Because sometimes, that is all that you need, just a moment. Here's the big thing that we don't remember, and we really should. And I really love the fact that the Hicks, with their Abraham teachings, talk about this, about activation. That's something that you think of, I think it's for 67 seconds or something close to that, we'll say for a minute roughly, that it starts an activation, meaning it starts the flow of energy out into the universe to bring that thing to you. So let's say
somebody passed away, for instance, and you're sitting and you're contemplating that sad moment that you're going to miss them, that you no longer get to give that person a hug, and you're completely and fully engrossed in that sadness. And then you realize you have to be somewhere where there's something that you need to do. And in as much as you want to honor your ability to grieve in that particular moment, you don't really have the luxury of time to sit and mourn. So you decide there's something else that you need to do. You give thought to that same person, perhaps, and think about the last time you laughed together, the last time that there was something truly joyful that touched your heart when you were with them. Or perhaps it's not about them, it's about somebody else you know. As soon as you start to think of a happy moment, whether it's a memory or you start to imagine something joyful, beautiful, sweet, you start to create a flow out into the universe, and it's activated. And what that means is, if you keep that activation going for a very short period of time, you will find that all of a sudden things show up to match that activation. We often think that things in life just happen. And we go, oh, well, it was a coincidence, or, I don't understand why that happened. It shouldn't have happened. And the truth is that everything in our life actually mirrors a particular vibration that we're in. And so if you're thinking, okay, well, you're dealing with a sick kitty, how does that work for you if you're Miss Happy all the time? Well, I'm not Miss Happy all the time. I have my moments like everybody else. But also, there is this, we'll say, aspect of my world that focuses on taking care of animals and focuses on how do I learn from it? How do I make things better? How do I incorporate that into my world? So part of that, if you will, activation for me is dealing with this situation, learning more about myself, learning more about the animal, learning more about what goes on in veterinarian medicine, and so on and so forth. So that energy actually is matching where I'm at. And I think, too, I'm going to retract that, not think, but know that a lot of what's taking place truly is about a learning that's higher than this moment. We come into this world not just for this existence, for this moment, but there is a corollary to previous lifetimes. There is a corollary to dealing with soul groups. There is a corollary to all the other people around us and the vibration and the frequency of the planet. And if it sounds like, oh God, she's going to that woo-woo zone, don't think so much about that, but think in terms of mass consciousness or the 100-monkey theory. Science today supports so much of this. It's not just, okay, well, spiritual teachers have been saying this, that, or the other, but we have science to actually support us in so much of what we see and think. So vibration, frequency, narrowed down is thought, is consciousness. And it's not for just where you are right now. It is where were you an hour ago? Where were you a week ago? Where were you a year ago, 10 years ago? There is always the need to create an equilibrium within your space, within your world. Nothing is going to be at one end without it coming back to the other at some point. Perfect example of this is we have, and you've heard me say this probably a million times, but it really is so true, a right side and a left side, an upside, a downside, a backside, a forward side. There is a balance to all things. So you need to kind of remember, if you're experiencing something sad in this moment, even though it seems like it's out of whack, because everything else was amazing and going well, and how did this seem to pop in? It may not be about right this minute. It's just about leveling things out. But you can speed up the effect and create that harmony within you and within your world by focusing your attention. My daughter used to hate when she was little, and she'd get mad about something, and I'd say, tell me 3 things you're grateful for. And she'd roll her eyes and say, I don't want to. I said, no, you're not going anywhere till you tell me 3 things that you're grateful for. So she'd take a moment, and she'd think, and she'd come up with 3 things. And guess what? All of a sudden, she found herself in a different space. You can do the same thing. This morning, I was grateful for chocolate, more chocolate, and chocolate. It's funny, but it's really true. You could perhaps be grateful when you look around and say, my home is comfortable, or I have a beautiful view, or isn't the sunshine so amazing today, or look at the sky. Or if you don't have a beautiful natural environment, perhaps you have a beautiful piece of jewelry that somebody you love gave you, and you can look at it and remember when they gave it to you and admire it. Don't think in terms always of so big or going somewhere. A lot of times, that magic of transformation is literally with self. Even say folk their wellness versus worrying about their illness, you make a difference for them. What you're sharing, what you're putting out, that makes a difference in the entire process. I remember when my maternal grandmother was ill, and a lot of family, how can I express this? Were trying to say all the things that they thought were best for her to remain here with us. And the truth was, it was her time. And so it made more sense to me to focus on acknowledging all the good that she had done and acknowledging how she interacted with all of us. Some things to think about, folks. I thank you so much for tuning in this evening. Just think, you could transform anything, and it doesn't have to be big. Think little things. Have a great night. Look forward to seeing you next week, and hopefully hearing from you about your session. Good night.
Be enchanted and delighted. Connect each week here on WNN for the Halley Elise Show. Also on Facebook and at HalleyElise.com. Thanks for tuning in. The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its hosts, guests, and callers, not necessarily those of the station, its staff, management, or sponsors.